Hello YouTubers, this is the Omega 831. Today I'm going to be doing a video on how to install, set up, and configure your Minecraft 1.8.1 server using Craft Bucket. And also, I have plugins for you guys that you can use as a template. These plugins I chose out, I picked myself and configured most of them, so they're all ready to use, although there are a few that don't quite work correctly. I can't figure out a couple of things, like one, promoting in game. For some reason it's not letting me do that, but everything else seems to be working just fine. So what you're going to need to do first is look in the description, and you're going to need to download this file right here. This is the Minecraft installer, or the Bucket installer. And then the second file you'll need to get is this one right here, the Bucket plugins. I mean, you don't have to get these are just ones that I chose, and I've configured most of them. And there's some really good ones in there, like LWC, World Edits, World Guard, Group Manager, Economy, just to name a few. But this is optional, but I would highly recommend it just to use as a template. And also you're going to need WinRAR to open up this file, since it is a RAR file, and you'll need Notepad++ to edit any YML files. So now that we got that out of the way, let's begin. So what you do is you double click your Craft Bucket installer. Now I chose the Craft Bucket installer because this is a very user-friendly interface. It's very noob-friendly, and it keeps your server up to date, and it keeps all your plugins up to date, which is super nice. So when you double click it, you get this setup wizard. You just follow the instructions. You click next, and you don't have to really read that, but you just click next anyways. And then you want to make sure it's you pick the right version of Java that you're running. I'm using Java 1.6 JRE6, and then there's Java 7, which is the beta. Now to find out which version you're running, just click Start, go to Control Panel, go to Uninstall a Program, and it basically gives you a list of all the programs on your computer at the present time. So you can tell I have JRE6. JRE is Java Runtime Environment 6. I have both Java
User was
6
moved to your channel.
Update 27 and Java 6 Update 27 64-bit.
User left your
I
channel.
recommend both versions, and the reason for this is
User was moved to your channel.
to promote stability on your server.
User left your channel.
And so yeah, what we need to do next is once we've determined that, you just click next, and you gotta agree to this license agreement thing. So go ahead and click the I agree, and then click next, and then you just you find the root directory in which you want to install it in. You could just leave it default, but if you have multiple hard drives, you can change which directory you want to look at, you want to save it to, by clicking here, and then you just find it in find your directory in computer. See, I have multiple drives, so I have local disk, and then I have what is it? Oh, another drive here. So yeah, that's just basically how you do it. And then you click next, and then if you have to click next one more time, then do it again. But I'm not going to do it. I've already installed it. You just keep clicking next until it's done installing, and then you click finish when it's done. So I'm just going to exit out because I've already installed it and I don't want to duplicate. So now that you've done that and you've installed the software, what you need to do is go to your directory where you saved it. So I saved it in the new volume E. That's just where I saved it. I put it in here. So now we have all these files. Like, a lot of these files will be generated once you start the server. But before you go ahead and start the server, right click on server properties and edit with Notepad. And here's my current setup for the server that I'm running right now. Um, it's going to be called, your level is going to be called World 1. If you change the name of your world, if you change it over here, right? See how it's called World 1? If you change the name or something, or you use a different name, you're going to have to change it in your server properties as well. So whatever you change it to over here, you're going to have to change it down here in the server properties. And then allow nether, I have set to true. View distance, I never touched that. Spawn monsters, true, because it is survival. Online mode, true. Leave this true, don't make it false. You don't want hacked people coming to your server and spamming you and doing all sorts of bad stuff to you. Difficulty is, I set to 3, which is hard. 2 is, I guess, a little bit easier. 1 is easy, and then 0, I guess it's super easy or something. Game mode, 0 is survival, 1 is creative. Spawn animals, keep that to true. PvP, if you want PvP, you know, that's up to you. Max players, I have it set to 120, but that's only because I have 6 gigabytes of RAM dedicated to the server. For the server IP, just leave it blank, don't put anything there. Level seed, I use this seed, it's capital DAX. It's a really cool seed. Server port, I left default. Allow flight, I set to true, which I'm thinking I might set it to false. Whitelist is false, and then message of the day, I just left it generic, welcome to Minecraft. But you can change that to whatever you want. Okay, so now that we got that covered, now what you have, I suggest you use the, you can use either the run bat file that I made that I'll have in the description, or you can create your own. And just so there's no confusion on how to create your own run.bat file, I'll go ahead and do that now. So right click in your folder and then click new, go to new, and then go to text document. You don't have to call it anything because we're going to delete it afterwards. So open up your text document, and I'm going to have I'm going to have a list of all the codes that you can use and what they, what they do. And here's one code that I can use. I guess I'll just use this one. So just all you gotta do is copy the code. I'm gonna go ahead and close that. Go ahead and close this. Paste it in. Okay. So remember the XMX is the maximum amount of RAM, and but make sure, since you're using Craft Bucket, see if you look back in here, it's called Craft Bucket and it's a jar file, so it's craftbucket.jar. If you do use any of the codes other than the code that I provide in my run bat file, you're gonna have to manually change this right here. So it says Craft Bucket. Because it has to match. Oops. It has to match this right here. And actually, I didn't want to close that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not thinking quite straight. So what you do to make your bat file is you click Save As, and just leave it in the directory here. Don't change anything up here, but come down here and where it says Save As Type, make sure it's as all files, and then you can call it whatever you want. I just call it run.bfs, I just call it run.bat. You can call it whatever you want, but just make sure you add the .bat at the end, otherwise it won't work. And then you click save, but I already got a bat file, so I'm not going to overwrite it. So that's how you make a simple bat file. And yeah, it's fairly straightforward. And also, to help you guys like reduce the lag on your server, what you need to do is in your run.bat file. I'm really not thinking straight right now, but what you need to do is your parallel GC threads. That's your maximum thread count. So if you have a quad core processor like me, you would set it to 4, and if you have a dual core, you would set it to 2. So yeah, that's just a brief look at that. What else? Oh, yes, I forgot. I will cover this now. Like I had mentioned earlier in this tutorial, you're gonna want to get damn it. Okay, you're gonna want to get both versions of Java 32-bit, Java and Java 64-bit. I'll have the links in the description. But for all the 64-bit users, you might have to do this in order to use the run.bat file. Click on Start, go to right-click on Computer, go to Properties, and then click on Advanced System Settings, and then go to Environment Variables, and then click down here where it says Path. Highlight, make sure Path is selected, and click Edit. And right here, okay, see where this backslash is? You're going to want to paste the code right after the black backslash. This whole code right here, you're going to want to paste that in right after that backslash. So I'll have the code in the description, and once you paste it in, you just click OK. I'm going to exit out because I've already done it. I don't want to mess it up. Maybe click OK again, exit out, and then you'd click OK again. And that's basically how you set the path, because if you don't do that and you try to run the bat file, you'll get this message saying system cannot find or specify path or something like that. And what you basically did was just point Java to the path. So now Java has a path. Okay, so once you have run the server and you generated your world, you'll have the world 1. Open up your plugins folder, and then you're going to want to open up this bucket plugins RAR file, and it has all my plugins that I'm using on my server at the moment. And what you're going to need to do is drag. You can copy multiple things at a time just by holding control, the left control, and then clicking. So you're going to want to drag all these jar files. These ones are jar files. The ones that look like little mugs or something. And then what you do is you just drag them into. Oops. You just drag them into your plugins folder, so they look like that. So you see all the plugins, the jar files in there. Okay, and these ones right here that are in, these are some of them came in RAR file format. So all you got to do is just open those up again. And I know the screen's kind of getting messy, but it's easy to manage. Don't worry. Then you just drag what's in here into the plugins folder over here. You just drag them into there, and you just do that for each one of these. So there's 5 of them. You just do that for each one, all 5 of those. And once you've done all that, all you got to do now is make sure you have the server when you're doing. Make sure you have the server off when you're doing all this. But once you have all the plugins inserted, just double click the run.bat file, let it do its thing. Once you know for a fact that it's done doing everything that it needs to do, you can go ahead and close it again just to make sure that in your plugins folder all these folders were created, because these folders aren't created until you start the server um, with these jar files in there. So yeah, those folders are created after, and what those folders have inside them are the config files, the config YML, and that's where you can change all the stuff that you want. So now that you got that going, you can go ahead and start up your server. And yeah, and let me show you also why I use this, because look at this console right here is freaking nice. It shows you all your players right here. You can send them messages. If you right click on their name, you can give them an item just on
Hey,
this little
wake up.
console. You can teleport, you can kill, you can promote to op, demote from op, message them, kick them, ban them, and that's a really nice feature. You can do that in that GUI thing, or you can also you can still do it in your regular command, because it brings up two windows. It brings up that, and it brings up this when you do the run.bat file. So yep, that's pretty much it. I might as well just cover port forwarding really quick. And why did I get poked? Okay, Taco poked me, that's fine. I will talk to him in a few. But so port forwarding is fairly easy. Just type in CMD. This black prompt screen will come up. Type in IP config. You're going to need to memorize or write down two sets of numbers. Get your default gateway and get your IPv4 address. And once you have those memorized or written down, type in exit and then go into Internet Explorer. Do not use Google Chrome or Firefox. Those have glitches sometimes when you try to log into your router. So to log into your router, just type in your default gateway. Mine was 10.0.0.1, and log into your router. If you don't know what your username and password is, consult your administrator, which is most likely your parents, but I know what mine is. And sometimes if they don't change what the default settings, it's your username could be admin and your password could be password, or it could be admin, or your username could be password and this could be password, or you could just leave it blank sometimes and you could just like log in and it'll fill it in for you. It just depends on your router. Your router is going to look different from mine, but you're going to want to look for something on the side like that says virtual servers or advanced or port forwarding or anything like that. Mine is under advanced. So what you would do is you would create your service or your profile, or it could be called multiple things. I just labeled it MC. It's just the title. You can call it whatever you want. You're going to need to do TCP and UDP. Some routers, for some reason, you can't do both at the same time. So you'll have to do two separate profiles, one just for TCP and then one for UDP. And then you're going to need to do start port 25565 and then end port 25565. And then you would put your IPv4 address here, and then you would make sure it's active, and then you would click add server or add service, or it could be called update router, save changes. It could be called multiple things. And if you're having issues with that, I can suggest a good website you can go to. Just go to Google, type in port forward, and yeah. So type in port forward. That's the one you want. And then once you click on that, up here at the top, click router list. And then it has a list of all your all the routers out here. You're gonna have to find your model number of your router. You can usually find that by looking underneath the router. It'll say model number, and then you just look up the model number. And once you find the model number, you just click whatever model you have. So let's see here. Um,
User joined your
okay,
channel.
so I have Comcast, right? Click on the
User
model
left your
number.
channel.
Click skip advertisements, and then you're gonna want to find the game that you want to port forward, and yeah, of course we want to port forward. Oh, what's that game called? I know it's. Oops. Okay, so you just want to port forward Minecraft server. And it basically gives you step-by-step instructions on how to do it. And that's basically it, you guys. That is basically it. Hopefully this has been helpful. If it has been, please thumbs up the video and please subscribe, and you can always join my server. I have all the information in the description. Just look down in the description, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.